was in the 70s that Cynthia Morgan became the scorer for the first, as well as making afternoon teas and organising social functions. Born in Preston, she is the younger sister of Graham Burt and wife to Jeff Morgan. At the age of 17, she was introduced to a 23-year-old Jeff, who she described as handsome with a stylish haircut. During their courting, Jeff took Cynthia to Sorrento. She made friends with the other wives and members of the football and cricket club. She loved the seafood nights, where her curried scallops were a major hit. Cynthia's involvement with the club spans over 50 years. Cynthia served on the committee from 1983 to 2003, officially, and unofficially for many more years than that, as an event and social organiser. As we see with Rudy and Jackie these days, who do a great job cooking meals on Thursday nights, Cynthia took on this role also, and did it for over 12 years, never missing a Thursday night, and her meals were delicious. It's people like Cynthia who volunteer their time and effort for the benefit of others and the club, which makes clubs like this great. She was recognised for her efforts in 2003 when she became our very first Lady Life member. The 1970s was a successful period for the SCC. The arrival of Graham Burt as captain took the Sorrows to a grand final in 1970, only to be denied by rain, and a provincial premiership in 1972. Burt would go on to become a life member, the club's greatest recognition of service. He arrived at the club after Jeff married his sister Cynthia, and despite having to travel from Seaford for training, he was instantly committed to the Sorrows. Previously, Graham had played district firsts and seconds with Collingwood. This gave him a great grounding in the ways of the game. Graham describes the 71-2 season. The finals was something that as a club captain you dream about. Players determined to win, not only for the club but for the whole of Sorrento. Complete harmony amongst players, backing one another up, whether at training or at the team meetings and discussions prior to each final. The 71-2 Provincial Grand Final. Burt won the toss and batted. 3 for 61, which started shakily. Roger Dunkley kept the score respectable with his 37. Paul Crooks and Kevin Kelly batted doggedly, improving the situation. A partnership of 54. Excellent support from the informed Kevin, 39 odd out. The score was 4 for 115. Burt joined Kevin. They got on top with the bowling to compile a partnership of 132 before Kevin was dismissed for an excellent 88 runs. Burt followed also for 88. Spirited performance from the rest of the batsmen, a great score of 358. Balnarring's openers created numerous problems. Partnership 81. For Brian, Head Watson removed them both. Through tight bowling and excellent fielding, we dismissed Balnarring for 251, 107 run lead. Brian Watson 3 for 45. With 1 day still left, we had to ensure our position and bat the day out. We fulfilled this objective with a second innings score of 313. Graham Burt 107, Jeff Wilson 82 not out. Their partnership sealed the deal. 2 life members were inducted in the early 70s, Harry Williams and Herbert Stringer. I couldn't find out a lot about Harry Williams, other than the fact that he lived across the road from the ground, on the Melbourne roadside, which used to be a dairy farm. He was a long-time scorer for Sorrento Cricket Club teams, and obviously did a lot around the club, hence being awarded life membership. Herbert Stringer was a familiar face in Sorrento, where he was born and raised. He lived his whole life there. He's also a life member of the Sorrento Golf Club and a member of the Sailing Club. He was also a Sorrento footballer. He was Sorrento Cricket Club treasurer for 10 years. A community-minded person, he was awarded the Life Governor of the Royal Children's Hospital for his work raising money for the Good Friday Appeal. After the 72-3 season, the reins were handed to Russell Scott. Russell, along with Cashmore and Bill Wilson, are the only 3 people to have been a captain, club champ and president of the SCC. Scott, a greenskeeper at Sorrento Golf Course, stood over 6 foot tall. He learnt the game under Ross Lever in the Sorrento Colts. He was a ferocious fast bowler, unleashing abuse at batsmen, and if they dropped a catch, teammates alike. Russell was regarded as the fastest bowler on the peninsula at the time. He would often turn up to games only a few moments before it was due to begin, with the opposition's spirits raised as they thought it was their lucky day and Scott wasn't playing. However, as his car pulled in, the opposition's shoulders would slump as their day just got a whole lot more dangerous. Bill Wilson had one season as captain before handing it back to Russell Scott. Bill was an accomplished footballer and cricketer. He gave 17 years great service to Sereno Cricket Club with one season as skipper, and he also served as president. Brendan Davin arrived at the club around this time after moving down from Melbourne to take a position at the Sorrento Primary School. Brenny would give great service to the SCC, 16 years playing with 3 years as seconds captain and 9 years as club secretary. He became a life member in the 90s. Brendan's wife Sue Scones would become a real hit at afternoon tea, and he would produce 2 sons who would also give great service to the club. The Thirds won the flag in 77-78. That same year, Ian Hobby took 40 wickets at an average of 10 in the seconds. The lad, as he is affectionately known, played around 200 seconds and thirds games for SCC in a 25-year period and won first 11 game, which came in 77-78. The lad was president for 2 years and secretary for 3 years. He still helps out around the club at training, and he always knows which way the weather is about to blow in. The 1970s appeared to be a fun era for the club, with it growing to 3 teams and lots of colourful and interesting people arriving. With strong juniors for the first time, thanks to the leadership of Brian Wiggins, future leaders of the club such as David Crode, Callaghan's, Grayson and Caspers were starting to come through. The club had a lot to look forward to moving into the 1980s.